Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about the One Piece card game. Today I am going to be doing the first of two parts of my EB01 set review. There should have been a case opening also going up around now, but sadly the set has been delayed 2 weeks in the UK. Yay! So unfortunately you're going to have to wait for that exciting content, but until then we are going to go ahead and jump right in. And I do want to say that I've actually tested this format a lot more than usual. As it has come to April/May, and I really want to take some annual leave. And you know what better to do when you're on holiday than play a load of card games? So I actually played a lot of EB01 format, and I have some interesting content for you over on my Patreon. You like that plug? Where I'm going to be up deck in the format. I noticed my camera has just disappeared. I'm sure it'll come back. There we go. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that over on Patreon. I really do recommend it because I think you very funny. Well, you know, it'll pop in and out, I suppose, and we'll continue. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And we're going to start in this video. I'm going to do the first three colors, so I'm going to do red, green, and blue. So Odin is the leader for red and green, and you'll notice basically they did a red-green leader, a blue-purple leader, and a black-yellow leader. And I'll try and talk about stuff as it comes up, so it may be that I skip over a couple of cards in this video, and I'll talk about them in the next one. Specifically on the blue-purple side. So, Odin. This leader is really cool, really interesting. Let's look at the alt art. Oh, lovely, fantastic. Set 4 style alt arts, some of my favorite. So this says, all of your Land of Wano type characters without a counter have a 1000 counter according to the rules. So all those cards that were really, really strong, see Okiku, see the various set 1 Wano support basically, that were really good but contributed towards Green's problem of not having enough counter power. Well, now they have counter. This is a really good effect, right? Let's start there. Donlon, when attacking, if you have a Land of Wano type character with a cost of 5 or more, the leader gains 1k power until the start of your next turn. And that's just not good enough. I think that is the downfall of this. If this leader had something like a kid effect on it, I think it really could have been competitive. But as it is, this leader is not doing enough. It's giving you defensive capabilities, certainly, and it's very much a defensive leader, but until such a time as we get, like, a Whitebeard for Wano, basically, I don't know that this is going to be particularly strong. And from the games I've played with it anyway, it didn't feel very good. But it's a cool leader for sure, and obviously Wano enthusiasts are going to really enjoy this one. Lots of support specifically targeted for it, so we get this 5/7 Ezo here, which is Wano and Whitebeard Pirates traded, and actually works quite well in both decks. On play, give up to 1 rested Don card to your leader or one of your characters. So on play, you basically get to trigger your Odin leader effect as the sort of synergy here, right, on curve. And then once per turn, you can trash a card from your hand. If your leader has the Land of Wano or Whitebeard Pirates type, give it to one of your opponent's leader or characters minus 2k power during this turn. Sorry, that's on attack. So essentially, you just get to turn any one of your bricks into a 2k counter. This card's nice. This card's really solid. I think, you know, if this had come out during Whitebeard's heyday, we'd all be moaning and complaining about how broken it was because it let Whitebeard swing 7 on curve, etc., etc., etc. It would, yeah, you know, let them fix all their bricks. Thankfully, Whitebeard is not that good unless you have someone passing you cards under the table. Topical reference. But hey. Kid and Killer, this is probably one of the best cards in this EB. There's a lot of best cards in this EB because this set is broken, to be honest with you. The power level of like almost every card in this set is like crazy. So Kid and Killer is a 4/5 rush when attacking if opponent has 2 or less life cards against 2k. So this is a 7k rush swinger, red-purple law. It's supernova traded, it's kid pirate traded. So red-purple law is going to love this. Red-green law can make use of this, and of course can potentially restand it multiple times. With another card, Cavenish, you can combo, but you can make this card go swing 7, swing 9, swing 11 in one turn with no attached on. So this can be a really, really scary like wombo combo card. The problem is, of course, you need to survive to the wombo combo. Red-purple law, very much able to do so. Red-green law, less so. And then you got Koza. This is support for the Alabaster deck, which is the VV deck. Funny. When attacking, you can give your active leader minus 5k power during this turn. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3k power during this turn. So yeah, this is garbage. I mean, the effect is fine, but I mean, okay, like you can play this in VV on your 3-Don turn. If your opponent has something tapped, fine. I don't know. Seems pretty bad. Then we've got Doma, this is a 1/3 Whitebeard Pirate Allies traded unit, so that exists. Then we've got Tony Chopper, another lovely alt art, very big fan of this one. And this card is quite good. So it says it's a 3/4, 1k counter, blocker, Don 2 when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3k power during this turn. For those of you who aren't aware just how good this is in Red Purple lore, that lets you hit 6ks. And I want you to just mentally go through how many relevant 6ks there are in the game. On top of that, you combo this with literally any other of your power reductions, and suddenly you're able to deal with like really, really big stuff. This is a huge power boost to Red Purple lore. I think it took a little while for people to realize like just how good it was. Similar to Shariah, I think like people were like, oh, the card's good. And then they tried it out and they're like, oh, the card's good. So yeah, this card is very, very powerful. And then of course it gets the manga, and it's got the meme in it. It's got the meme in it. It's got the meme in it. Anyway. Then we have got Yamato here is a 2k counter for 1/0, 5/5, activate main once per turn, give up to one of your rested Don cards to your leader or one of your characters. Obviously you're almost never playing this, but it is a good 2k counter. Then we've got Little Oars Jr. This is a 6/7 with a 1k counter. Once per turn, if this character would be KO'd by an effect, you may trash an event or stage from your hand instead. This is okay. If it outed bot decking, it would be better. But this is the sort of card that like Whitebeard definitely would just have chucked in. Again, this is just better than Thatch because you're getting an out-to removal. And when Sakazuki gets banned, there is not really going to be anything that is contesting this outside of Bo Hancock, right? So, you know, this is a decent card, and it's Whitebeard Pirates. Just shut up and come with us. Look at the top 5 cards, counter timing, for an Animal Kingdom Pirates, for an animal type character with a cost of 3 or less. Yeah, Chopper deck card for OP08. that's how early they were designing this deck. Then we've got There's No Way You Could Defeat Me. This is a counter to KO one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 base power or less. This is an interesting card. Might come up very far down the line. I think this is the sort of card where like I could see it. I could see there being some sort of leader in the far future that like reduces the opponent's power like on their turn, or like sets base power to certain things or whatever, and this could come up. I think it's pretty bad, and I think it's unlikely to come up, but it could. Then we've got Mini Marys, the 1-cost stage. Activate main, you can rest this card and place one of your characters with 1,000 base power at the bottom of your deck to draw a card. Yeah, this is filter, but I will say, like, there's no Thatch is 2k. I have no idea what the purpose of this card is. It's terrible. Okay, on to green. And here we get some more Supernova cards, and we got to talk about Cavendish, because this card is the only reason Red-Green Lore is not like tier 5. Red-Green Lore is like tier 2 to tier 3, probably tier 3, because of this card and this card alone. On play and when attacking, if your leader has Supernova type and you have no other Cavendish characters, untap him. You can do some absolutely silly stuff with this in lore. It's really, really scary, unless your deck is good, of course. If your deck is not good, then this is absolutely terrifying. This is a really, really good card. It's really, really good. It's played in money. It's a stable Supernova card. Like every Supernova deck from now till the end of time is going to want 4 copies of this card because it's just insane. Then we've got Hiyori, and this card is also insane. And this is going to enable a really, really interesting style of deck from 07 and then moving forward in the Land of Wano style decks. So this card says, activate main, you can trash this character, play up to 1 Land of Wano type character with a cost of 5 or less other than Hiyori from your hand, then draw 1 card. This card reads, like, in isolation, in a vacuum, you read this and you go, this is pretty good, right? Because you, on your 4-Don turn, you get to cheat out 5 costs, which is already decent. You replace the card that this is basically taking up. So it's sort of free in that sense. And there's a lot of very compelling 5-cost Wano characters, right? And we can go to multiple colors. We can go to red, we can find that 5/7 Iso. That's pretty good. We can go to green and we can find, turns out there's that 5/7 on attack on taps Don, or there's the Yamato double attacker. Those are compelling. You can go to yellow, look at Yamato, and you go, oh, well, you can play out a Momonosuke. That's pretty good. But then this card becomes really, really powerful in the context of OP07 and in a card that a lot of people have forgotten about, which is I Will Be Your Samurai, something like that. It's the 1-cost tap 2 draw 2 event from set 1. The card said draw 2. We all tried it out at the start and we were like, okay, this is bad. But now in these decks, not so much, because in set 7 we get a 2k counter Otama top 5 searcher, and this is and it's an on play. And suddenly we now have 2 cards that are perfect bodies that you're happy to tap to just start plussing. In particular with Hiyori, you are super happy to do it because you're just going to sack her anyway. Like, at least with with Otama, you might want to do something else with it, but the purpose of this card is to go. So we get into this really, really like interesting realm of possibilities where, like, on your 6th Don turn, for example, just to explain the combo to you, Yamato could go, okay, 6th Don, play Hiyori, play Otama. Replace the Otama in your hand, basically, from the top 5 search. Play Be Your Samurai. So now you draw 2 cards, and you tap both of these 2 down. So at the moment, you've basically lost a card in hand, but you've put 2 cards on the board. Then you proc Hiyori, so you draw a card, and then you play out the 5 cost. The 5 cost you play out is Momonosuke blocker, and then you chuck that Otama into top of your life. So this whole little combo has actually netted you no loss in hand advantage. You've gained something on the board, and you've healed one. It's a very powerful combo, especially at 6 Don. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that's enabled. It's not actually that good, but it's tier 2, and this is the kind of card that will not be expensive until that comes to the West. So just bear it in mind, okay? Bear it in mind. Next, we've got Sanji. This is a staple for Uta. This is a film, Straw Hat Crew, 4/5, 2k counter, Don 1. Your turn, this character gains 1k for every 3 of your rested Don cards. So essentially, this is just a free 9k swing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you have multiple of these out, then it's a free 8k swing, a 1 Don 8k swing. This is again very, very good. It's 2k counter. This card is very solid. And again, I don't think this card's actually like that good, but it's decent. And the power level of the Uta cards, like, they're so low because the leader and like some of the support stuff is so broken that, like, if it ever actually gets good cards, we're in trouble. But yeah, this card is decent. Then we got a 2k counter, Apu here, that is on play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 LS. This is a strictly better 2k counter Apu that you can throw into your superhero decks. Then we've got Bingo. This is a Land of Wano type character. Activate main, rest this character, KO up to one of your opponent's arrested characters with a cost of 1 or less. I could see this maybe being relevant in Corona, but outside of that, I doubt it. Then we've got Blueno. This is another film type character going into the deck, and this is a 2-cost blocker. And I believe you me, the Uta deck is very happy to see this card, and it chucks 4 copies in. Then we've got Mountain God. This is a 5/7. It's Land of Wano traded, for what it's worth, and it's also an animal for chopper enthusiasts. Okay, then we got Off-White. So this is a Doffy piece of support here. Counter up to one of your leaders, gains 4k power. Then look at 3 cards on top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Don Quixote Pirates type character card out to your hand, and then place the rest of them on the deck. This is pretty solid. Like, you know, again, this is free in that Doffy deck, so this is, I think, a pretty easy 4 of inclusion, because you just get the counter, and you get to replace the card in your hand with something you probably need. So yeah, I think this is a very, very good card for that deck. Then we've got Shambers. Not Shambles, which is the well-known at this point localized version of the card name, whatever. I made a hit tweet a while ago talking about how I thought this card was broken. I've got like 250 likes or something. And I thought I was just wrong because like the card is bad. The card's not bad. It's just Law's bad. Law's just really bad. It just can't keep up with the current decks in the game. So until such a time that these like black and yellow decks just kind of die off, and we enter like a red, blue, purple format, or a red, green, like purple format, we're not going to see Law come back until then. But this is a very powerful card in that deck. I've been trying it out. I really like it. It's not a 4 of. It's probably a 2 of until we get some more broken combos, because right now it's a little bit janky. But certainly, I think this is a good card, and I'd like it to get an alt art. Yeah, okay. On to blue and purple. So I'm going to start talking about it here, and we'll just deal with the blue. So Hanyabal is the... this leader is Impel Down traded, blue and purple, as if we haven't got enough of those. At the end of your turn, you can return one of your Impel Down type characters at the cost of 2 or more to his hand. Rampadon is active. There's a lot of very broken cards that this deck has access to, and I'm kind of shocked that it's so bad. I guess it really is just not, it's just too slow. It's just not doing enough when you look at the decks that are really good in the game. Like something like this is just not cutting it, because this is a powerful effect, especially when you consider the combo. There's a 2k counter in the set 3 or 2, whatever Impel Down was supported, I think set 2, which is Sadie, and the Sadie cheats out a Jailer beast. And then at the end of the turn, you just bounce back your Sadie, and then you untap it on. This seems very, very strong. Very, very strong combo. You just mulligan for it, and then you're playing a board out, you're ramping. It seems good. Apparently not. This is the alt art though. Very nice alt art. Again, they've done a good job on these. So first card we get here is Inazuma. This card is insane. This card's genuinely really, really strong, and it's going to be one of those ones where, like, there's so many cards in this set. The decks are not meta, but they are so powerful that in a year or 6 months, however long it is, until that particular card or that particular archetype becomes meta, because it's sort of inevitable, right? There's only so many different traits they can do. Eventually, they will cycle back round to them. This card is one of them. This card's crazy. Impel down, Revolutionary Army traded. So 2 very relevant traits. At the end of your turn, if you have 2 less cards in your hand, draw 2. It's a 6/7, and it has a 1k counter. So this is a great play. Obviously, in Ivankov, suddenly you draw 4 every turn, right? This is insanely scary in Ivankov. Now, Ivankov is completely unplayable right now thanks to Sakazuki. But when Sakazuki's gone, it becomes like slightly more playable. And again, like, the deck is a product of its time. It hasn't basically had to build this OP2. The power level was way lower back then. You look at OP's 6-7 cards, right? Like, it's not, there's no comparison. But this is the kind of card that, like, on the next wave of support will remain in the deck because it is so powerful. Saying draw 4 a turn is kind of good. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's pretty strong. Then we've got Weevil. This is another very powerful card. This is 7 Warlords of the Sea traded. 4/6 on play, draw 1. 4 of in Doflamingo. This is such a 4 of. You see it off the top of the deck, you play it, you get a 4/6, and you draw a card. What's not to like? Obviously, you combo this with Jinbei, and then you just play it from hand, so it's not even a brick in your hand anymore because it just plays itself, and you cheat out for free. This is so good. So good. Then we've got Hamlet here. This is Animal Kingdom Pirates traded and Smile traded. If you have 4 or less cards in your hand, all your Smile type characters gain 1k power. So not every card here is a hit. This could have, frankly, this could have said +2 or +3k power, and I'm not convinced it would have been that good. It's so bad. Okay, then we've got Fortrix. This is a 3/5 Animal Kingdom Smile. I'm sure this deck will randomly be playable at some point in the future with the amount of cards it gets, but yeah. Then we've got Prince Bellet. This is an Impel down to 2k counter. Don 1 when attacking. If you have 1 or less cards in your hand, bounce a 3 cost to this owner's hand. This is actually okay, but like okay in the very loosest sense of the word. It's a decent 2k counter, but like it's, you know, not great. Then we've got Daz Bones. This card is another one of these broken cards. I think every one of the, basically all the rares and SRs are just like crazy. So this card is objectively broken and is exclusively being held back by the fact that there is literally no good leader for it. This is a 5/6 with a 1k counter that says draw 2, trash 1 on play. Already this is very good, right? Already you would play this. If your leader's type includes Baroque Works, it gains 1k for every 2 events in the trash. So this is, and that's a permanent effect, right? So this is essentially like a 5/7, a 5/8, a 5/9, 5/10 even, that says draw 2, trash 1, and is a counter. There is no possibility this card is not broken. It is completely broken, but there is no deck that can make use of it. Because the only, like, you know, you're either playing Mono Blue Croc or you're playing Blurple Crocodile. Neither of those decks are good. What can you do? But again, it's one of those cards where whenever they do decide to make Baroque Works traded leaders good, and they make one in blue, this is going straight into the deck at 4 copies. So, you know, if you want to have the alts, pick them up while they're cheap. And then we've got some events here. So we've got Gum Gum Champion Rifle. This card is objectively fucked. I don't know what they were thinking, and this is one of those cards that's going to age really badly whenever Impel Down is good. 1 cost counter. Give your leader or character 2k for the battle, then your opponent bounces an active character, right? Like, this is completely broken. This is objectively completely broken, right? It's perfectly synergistic with the deck as well, with the Hanyabal deck, because you always have the untapped Dom. But, like, regardless, this is objectively completely broken. And the only thing holding it back is the leaders are not very good. If we ever get a playable Impel Down leader, this is going to be one of those cards where everyone's going to want it banned. This is so poorly designed. Like, keep an eye on this card. Maybe a year from now I'll be correct, but like, just Jesus. Then we got Sorry, I'm a Goner. This card's terrible. Reveal a card from the top of your deck. If the reveal cards cost 4 more, bounce one of your characters to the owner's hand, then place the reveal card at the bottom of the deck. And then the trigger bounces an 8 cost. So obviously the trigger's very good here. I mean, cool thematic card. Potentially playable in Nami, I suppose. I guess, but you're never playing a high cost card, so it's kind of garbage. Then we've got Logtown. This is again a card that seems like it should be a Nami card, but it's completely anti-synergistic because it says place this card and one card from your hand at the bottom of your deck to draw 2. If this card said place this card and discard a card and draw 2, you can bet your bottom dollar Nami would play 4 copies of it. But this is terrible. Like, it's just bad. It's just so bad. And I think that's the last one. So yeah, that is it for this video. As you can see, there are so many extremely powerful cards that just don't have a deck right now. I implore you, if you have any intention of like playing this game long term, just pick up 4 copies of every one of these cards, base rarity, whatever it is. Obviously, if you want the alts, pick up the alts on release, because especially the unplayable ones and the cheap ones, because every one of these cards is busted, and if any one of them becomes playable, we've seen what happens to prices in this game. So I'm letting you know now. Okay, I'm letting you know now. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece card game content. Check out the Patreon. I'm telling you, I'm cooking with this EB format stuff. There's a good deck up there. It's worth the $5. But there we go. That's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.